everybody, it's Brant, and I'm back with another The Panel Has Spoken video. And we're doing Love Gun this time, guys. And along beside me today is my trusted partner in crime, Rick from It's All For You Demon.
Hey.
And special guest, Ralph Viera, Almost Human,
Smack him a gob!
Dr. Fukk in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
And
you.
Ralph, it's so good to have you in another video again.
I am honored to be here.
I've had very
you know
many viewers asking, when are you going to have Ralph again? When are you going to have Ralph again? And I think
Awesome.
we did Creatures together back in the day. So
Yes, we did.
so
And that was the first video I ever watched of yours, Brant, was The Creatures with Ralph. So it's pretty cool to be here with you, man.
Did you know me by then, Rick?
No, that's how I discovered your channel.
Right on. See that, Brent? You hooked me up.
yeah, and I was just telling Ralph before we called you, Rick, has he ever seen your channel? And he said no, he hasn't seen you. But I told him, I said, definitely got to check him out. He's got a lot of really good. If you like watching people go through their memorabilia and also just wax and talk about those childhood memories of Kiss, that's a really fun channel. If you like Great Danes, it's a really fun channel.
I'll check it out.
Yes, I definitely. All right, so we're here to talk about Love Gun, and this is a big panel. We've got 70 people on this panel. It's the biggest so far. And after this, we're going to be doing solo albums. And I have a poll going on right now on my social media, if you want to go check that out, asking you what your favorite solo album is. And I may start with the least favorite, and I may start with the most favorite. I'm not decided yet, but if you want to go to my social media and check out those polls, be sure to check those polls out. So, talking about Love Gun, before we get into the panel and talking about the panel, talk about Love Gun a little bit. I'll start. Destroyer was my first Kiss album, and then right after I became a Kiss fan in August of 1977, in October, Alive 2 came out. Love Gun was the third Kiss album that I ever had. And I remember getting it when I was, 8 years old. It had the gun. I thought the blood kiss on the marble, the green marble, the inner sleeve was really cool. I love this cover. It's one of my favorite covers, and I just think it's great. And this song, it was a huge influence on me. It has a lot of my favorite Kiss songs on it. A couple songs in particular, and it's just, I think, to me, this is Kiss when they were at their best during this time, just before they were getting ready to decline. But even though they would skyrocket for a couple years after this, internally the band was crumbling, and we didn't know that. We didn't know. There wasn't rumblings of the band starting to disintegrate internally until you got around the solo albums. Everybody thought, oh, they're breaking up. And then there was that long period of time between the solo albums and Dynasty where you thought the band wasn't going to be coming back. So this is kind of one of those albums that it was relatively new when I got it. It wasn't very old. And I just celebrated it when I was 8 years old. I loved Love Gun. So since Ralph stepped away for a second, Rick, what about you? What do you think about, what's your thoughts on Love Gun?
Well, as I came into the game late in the late 80s, we rented Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park a lot at the video store. And this album is soaked in that movie. I Stole Your Love is in the movie. The grotesque Kiss cutout is the Love Gun cover. So early on, I purchased this cassette, and it was huge. It's definitely in my top 5 favorite albums. And like you said, it's Kiss at the top of their game.
Honestly, I don't remember when I bought it. I bought double platinum first. Then I believe, I could be wrong, I believe Kiss Alive and Kiss Alive 2. I remember those were pretty much the ones and Ace Frehley solo album. Those, I believe, are my third. The reason why I don't think I bought Love Gun until maybe the 80s, because when I did buy it, it didn't have the gun. So it must have been like a later pressing. Probably I got it in the early 80s. I mean, I did end up getting pretty much all the Kiss albums except for maybe like the first one. Because I remember hearing the first one much later thinking, holy crap, these songs are nothing like Kiss Alive, you know? Though I love that album now, but I was pretty shocked, you know? But now I can talk more about Love Gun in retrospect, where I think it's a great album. It's the last real Kiss album, the original four. It's the last one where all four, as far as we know, because this is the one album that I've heard no rumblings about anybody being a ghost player on it. And I think it's a phenomenal album. But I will tell you this. I guarantee you, my least favorite songs on here are not going to mirror anybody else's. And there's only one song I dislike on this album. Now, that's a weird thing because as far as 70s Kiss, excluding the solo albums, I don't think they made a bad song, except, you know, I'm not a fan of Love Theme from Kiss. And there's a couple other ones that I don't think are bad, but I think they're just fair. This one has a song that I really don't like, and I've gotten a lot of crap for it. And it's not the one that everybody would pick as their number 10, their least favorite. It's not that one. Actually, what people would think is number 10 isn't even my number 9.
Wow.
This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, and it's a shame what my number 10 is, and I'll explain why when we get into it. But I absolutely love this album. It has the spirit of 70s Kiss, the original Kiss, the first one with Ace singing on it. To me, the greatest album cover of any Kiss album. It's my favorite album cover.
Amen.
And what else to say? My brother saw the tour, and I've told this story before on my channel, Almost Human. I begged him to take me because at this time, like that's when I first got into Kiss, and I was like, please take me, please take me. And he wouldn't take me. So I got really depressed when he left, and I went in my room to listen to my Kiss Alive 8-track. And he took it with him.
Oh
wow.
Double whammy.
Double whammy.
So yeah, I didn't see the original Kiss till the reunion. I did see Creature of the Night, you know, but I couldn't go to Dynasty as well. My parents wouldn't let me go to that, so I had to wait till '96. And I never thought that day would happen. And I flew to New York and I saw 3 out of the 4 reunion shows, and holy crap, was that worth the wait? What an amazing, amazing shows that was. So yeah, I do love Gun. I probably be in my definitely top 5 favorite Kiss albums.
Okay. All right. Well, this is definitely going to be an interesting panel. I'm really looking forward to getting into this. Just looking at what the viewers put as panelists, it was kind of all over the place. So I'm going to talk about the panelists really quick here. Going to give this list. You guys can sip your coffee there or whatever you're sipping on. And,
you're going to name 70 people?
I'm going to name 70 people.
Can
Yeah.
I go food shop and I'll be right back?
Just as long as I don't mispronounce too much, we'll be okay. So of course there's the hosts, me, It's All For You, Demon, and Ralph. And then from Facebook, Scotty Sky, Jeremy Kimona, Steve Bell. Instagram, we have Sweet Dan, which is the guy that introduced Kiss to Rick. Eric Rausch. Twitter has Tom Dust, Andy, Richie Rich, Jack Skellington, Deuce, Katie Christina, Dave Cranston, Kimchi Chris, Tony Rudd, Sean
Kimchi
McKellen.
Chris, I love that guy.
Kimchi Chris, Tony Rudd, Sean McKellen, Ella Dio, Joel Smith, Jeff Wyatt, Mrs. Stellavetti. I'm horrible with Italian names. Surrender Dorothy, Gregory Pegg, Keith Bounty Law Larson, Matt Greenia, John Shafier, Bim, Legend of the Noob, and Zendon Black. YouTube is Orville Dansworth, John B. Good, Jay Reiner, John Howard, Emily Graziano, John Smith, Jay Lee, Two Gay Dads, AJ Zetro 1975, Travis McGallard, Dylan Tucker, Matthew Smith, Super Kiss 1200, Dark Light, Trevor Bullock, Joe Pegg, Brady McCatherine, Kiss Crazy 80, Pens Fan 77, John O, Sammy Pardo, Ludwig Alfvin, Lee Gersman, Chad Kesey, Les Wadley, Joe Doley, Demetrios K, John 666 Steele, Michael D, Perpetual Art, Indy Colt 777, Mick C, Eldon B, Young and Wasted, Rick R, Anthony C, That Toy Bonnie Guy, Tom S, Greek Freak, and from Patreon is Bizbag68. So that's 70 people. And then I want to do a couple comments. Guys, you definitely need to go on the social media, the YouTube page, the Twitter page, the Instagram page, and read people's stories that they put, because some of these are just way too long and they're way too many for me to mention. And so if you love hearing stories about people's experience with these albums, you definitely need to check out the comments on these posts where I ask for your list. But I've just got a couple here that I want to mention. John B. Good says it's the best cover art. He loved staring at the women. I did too. He kept his brother's album. His brother was going to burn his Kiss album, so he stole his brother's Love Gun with the gun in it, and he still has it to this day. Emily Graziano, her mother has the original 77 copy, complete with the Love Gun in order form, and I do too. My gun's punched out, though. Matthew Smith went through a Pac-Man drawing phase and drew it on everything. He said, and on his Love Gun cover, there's a Pac-Man joining them on the cover. Super Kiss 1200 bought with his first album he bought with his own money. Says it's the best costumes. Joel Pegg says it's the first album that got him into the band. His brother got it for his girlfriend that had the same name, Christine. My oldest daughter's name's Christine. She thinks it's the creepiest ass song she's ever heard. She's like, what's this old man trying to get with a 16-year-old? I'm like, honey, it was the 70s. Greek Freak says at 8 he played Christine 16 and shot me over and over. And Lee Gerstmann has the best story. He told the story about how when he got this album, he would bring his record player that was meant to be played inside. He would bring it outdoors and plug it up and play Love Gun over and over while him and his friends played basketball. I love that visual of an inside record player being outside.
I love any visual with Lee Gerstmann. You know, he's a personal friend of mine. Me and him hung out in San Francisco and wrote a song together.
Oh, that is awesome.
He's a great guy. I love you, Lee. Lee rules.
Kiss Crazy 80 got the album the day it came out. Tells the story of his mom buying tickets from Ticketron inside of Sears department store.
I used to do that too. It was Bass. It was called Bass Tickets, but it was at a Sears.
At a Sears.
I bought my tickets back in the day, yes.
So let's get into the album. So we had 70 panelists on this and no ties. So we don't have to do that weird numbering scheme like we did in the last one, Rick. So we've got 10 songs, and so we're going to start off with number 10, and we're going to tell our predictions, and then we will and then we'll reveal what the panel has chosen as number 10. So, Ralph, since you're the guest, we'll let you go first on these predictions. So, what do you think the panel's going to choose for number 10?
I predict the panel will choose Then She Kissed Me.
Okay.
That'll be the song that most people consider the worst. Not me. I love that song. I mean, I really love that song. But most people don't. But that's cool because I really like different opinions. Unlike a lot of pickle whistlers out there get really, really upset if you don't agree with them on whatever song. Because, you know, everybody thinks they're the authority of everybody's musical opinion. But, you know, anybody that says Then She Kissed Me is the worst song on there, I'm cool with it. Don't bother me. That's my prediction.
All right, Rick.
I predicted the same. Then She Kissed Me for the panel.
Okay. I predicted the same. Then She Kissed Me. I was kind of going back and forth between two songs, and I think we probably all three probably have gone back and forth between those two songs, which one we thought would be the least. But I also predicted Then She Kissed Me to be the number 10 song. So coming in with 142 points, and at number 10 is Then She Kissed Me. Only one panelist, Katie Christina, picked this as her favorite, and she caught hell on Twitter for it. I mean,
See, that's my there's
playful.
my point.
It was playful kind of hell, but some people actually was posting things like, "Oh God, next thing you're gonna say is you like Shandy." I'm like, wait a minute, I like Shandy now.
I love Shandy.
I love
that
Shandy.
song.
Back up now. So,
And I'm not a fan of Unmasked. That's one of my favorite songs off Unmasked.
what did you pick Then She Kissed Me as, Ralph, on your list?
Number 8. There's 2 songs I dislike more than Then She Kissed Me, and the song that one of the 2 I like. There's only one song on this album I don't like, but
Okay.
there's 2 songs I would put below Then She Kissed Me.
Okay, so you picked 8. Rick, where'd you pick this as?
I made my list with Ralph last night. I also put Then She Kissed Me at 8.
Are you
Whoa!
Are you cheating off the guests?
I know,
list
I
again?
know.
Yeah. Right on, dude. Awesome.
Well, I'm going to be the odd man out in this one. I picked Then She Kissed Me as my least favorite. I can't take it. I've actually liked it better as I've gotten older, but it's not enough to keep it out of the top, out of the bottom spot for me. So, I'll be the odd man out on that. I'm okay. All right. So
You're not the odd man out. Me and Rick are the odd man out. Trust me.
Number 9 song, Ralph. What do you think the panel will choose for number 9?
Again, it's not even my number 9. I even like it more than Then She Kissed Me. Tomorrow and Tonight, I predict is number 9.
Okay.
I predicted Tomorrow and Tonight as number 9. I'm not joking.
All right.
I have it written down right here.
All right. I'm gonna have to separate you two. Y'all cheating off each other's papers. All right.
Hold that up again. Let me rewrite that.
All right. Number 9 for me. I predicted that the panel was going to choose Hooligan as number 9. At 242 points at number 9, 100 points higher than Then She Kissed Me, is Hooligan. 2 panelists, Joe Pegg and Tom S., picked this as their favorite song. Ralph, what does Hooligan come in for you personally?
Number 10. I don't like that song. I've never liked that song. And I am a huge Peter Criss fan. I think Peter Criss has the best voice of the 4. He's my favorite vocalist of Kiss. He's my favorite drummer that was in Kiss. And before anybody says, oh, Peter Criss isn't a good drummer, go listen to Dress to Kill and 100,000 Years on Kiss Alive, and then, shove it up your ass sideways. I could say ass, right?
Oh, yeah. All right, Rick, where did Hooligan come in for you?
Hooligan came in at number 9 for me. It's my least favorite Peter Criss song ever.
Okay.
So it's pretty low for me.
All right. Hooligan came in as number 6 for me. And let me go ahead and preface this. I love every song on Love Gun other than number 10, Then She Kissed Me. So I like every song. So once you get outside the top 5, they all kind of start becoming the same to me. But Hooligan is number 6 for me. That brings us to number 8 for the panel. So what, Ralph, do you predict the panel will choose for number 8?
All right, before I say, let me say, I love this song. But if you watch my review of Love Gun, which I did like around, 10 years ago, I wasn't too kind to the song. I don't think I said I hated it, but I said, it's whatever. I love it now. But I predict it's going to be Got Love for Sale.
So number 8 for the panel, I chose, the panel would choose Plaster Caster.
My prediction for number 8 for the panel is Got Love for Sale. I thought that this was going to be a song that, it's one of the Gene songs that it's not as good as Christine 16. It's not as good as Almost Human for the panel, at least. I thought that was what the panel, it's not necessarily what I think, but I thought that's what the panel was going to be. was going to choose. But the panel chose as number 8 with 278 votes. They chose Tomorrow and Tonight as number 8. And no panelist chose it as their favorite song. People scoring it as their second or their third favorite. Tomorrow and Tonight, to me, though, is I picked it as my seventh favorite, just under Hooligan. For me, that's my pick for it. What about you, Ralph? Your pick for Tomorrow and Tonight?
Number 7. And I absolutely love Tomorrow and Tonight. Honestly, I like the Kiss Alive 2 version more because I'm not too much of a fan of the female vocals that pop in toward the end. But, as a song, I'm judging it as a song, not the version on the album. Tomorrow and Tonight, I love that song. I know it's a ripoff of I Want to Rock and Roll All Night and this and that, but I just think it rocks. It's a rocking tune. And I love it. I love Tomorrow and Tonight. Even though it's number 7, I'm telling you, from 9 to 1, I love them all.
Yep,
but,
I agree.
Hooligan's the only song I don't like off this album, but I love every song that I talk about after Hooligan. So yeah, that would be my number 7, Tomorrow and Tonight.
I chose it as my number 5. I love it's got such a great hook, and like Ralph said, the Alive 2 version is so much fun. It's just a great song, great rock song. It's in my top 5.
The Alive 2 version that was recorded during soundcheck.
Yeah, and that the background singers was definitely a '70s thing, and it would definitely come through really strong on some of the solo albums. The female background singers. That brings us up to number 7, and so Ralph, number 7 for the panelists. What did you think that they would choose for number 7?
I'll say Plaster Caster.
I chose Got Love for Sale.
Okay. I copied off of Ralph's page this time. I predicted the panel would choose Plaster Caster as their number 7 song. The song that they actually chose with 336 votes was at number 7 is Got Love for Sale. And one panelist, Eldon B, picked it as their favorite. Got Love for Sale, for me, is my second favorite track on the album. I freaking stinking love Got Love for Sale. I love the riff. I love the way Gene sings. I love when they break into that, when they explode into the chorus. Peter does that roll, and they're like, whoa, no, and they got, have love. I just love the way they just explode into that. And I love the sped up drum fills that sounds like the entering drum fill to Shock Me, that that Peter does. This is one of the songs I love playing this song on drums to this day. I love Got Love for Sale. It's a great song. So Ralph, what did you choose Got Love for Sale as?
Number 6.
Okay.
I love that song. I do love Got Love for Sale. Liked it way more than when I did the review. Even though I didn't hate it back then, it's grown on me way more through the years. So, yeah. It probably would have been number 9 if you asked me 10 years ago. So it's shot up to number 6.
And I chose it at number 7 for me. I've always liked it. I've never really loved it, but actually, listening to you, Brant, just now, like I want to go back and listen to it again because, tastes change from day to day. So, But when I made this list, it was number 7 on my list.
Okay, so that brings us up to number 6, just outside of the top 5. So, Ralph, what do you think the panel's going to choose for number 6?
Well, let's just say I say Plaster Caster.
So you say Plaster Caster, okay? So,
yeah.
Rick?
I chose Hooligan as my number 6 for the panel.
Okay. Let's see. For my number 6, I thought the panel was going to choose Christine 16. For number 6, at 345 points, the panelists have chosen Plaster Caster as the number 6 song. Only one panelist, Surrender Dorothy, chose it as their number 1 favorite song. And I love Plaster Caster. I scored Plaster Caster. I picked it as my 3rd favorite song. I love Plastercaster. I love everything about it, from the moment it starts until the moment it ends. I love Plastercaster. Ralph, what did you pick Plastercaster at for you?
I gotta say, I do like the song. I can't say I love it. That's why I put it at number 9. Yes, Then She Kissed Me, I like even more than Plaster Caster. But I don't hate the song. It's a good song. I just like every song over it except for Hooligan. So yeah, it'd be my number 9. Way low on my list, but I do like the song. I do not hate it in any way. I think it's a little above fair, above average, a little above average.
Yeah, and I chose it at number 10. I'm like Ralph. I don't hate it, but I just don't love it. There's a lot of songs I like more. It's number 10 on my list. This was, to me, Gene becoming Hollywood Gene and kind of like pulling the wool over our eyes because he's never even done the plaster cast. So
Right.
it's low on my list.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was being a little misleading because he never was plaster cast. He was just writing a song about it. Yeah.
Well, have you seen his porno? Have you? It's a legitimate question. There is a porno out there of Gene Simmons.
I've never seen it. No. No.
Well, let's just say
uh,
let's just say they won't use a lot of plaster on him.
Yeah, and it's just uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, very
that's-
uncomfortable. It's like you figured he'd be better.
Yeah.
It was like, what the hell, man? This guy's been with 100 million women, and that's as good as he can do. Pretty embarrassing video.
All right. Let's see. I was going to say, how do we come back from that? Let's see. So, number 5. Getting into the top 5. So, number 5, Ralph, what do you think they would choose for number 5?
It's a song I love. I named my channel after it, Almost Human. I'll say Almost Human.
My choice for the panel number 5 was Love Gun.
Okay. My choice, and I need to quit looking over Ralph's shoulder. My choice, prediction-wise, for the panel number 5 is Almost Human. And at 375 points, the panel chose for number 5. They chose Almost Human. 3 panelists, Steve Bell, Sweet Dan, and Super Kiss 1200, picked Almost Human as their favorite song. I picked, me personally, for me, I picked Almost Human as my 9th favorite. This is a song I've just never been able to get into. I love the beginning of it, and I love when Gene starts singing. I like he's singing in that yay voice that he sings in. He's really, it's almost like this, he's trying to make a God of Thunder part 2. But I don't like, being a drummer, believe it or not, I don't like the bongos. I don't like the overall atmosphere of this song. I don't really like the solo. The solo's just kind of weird, and I don't like the falsetto, I'm almost human. I mean, some people like it because they say it's creepy, and it is creepy, but I just remember as a kid just never being really into this song, and it's just never grew on me. So, what about you, Ralph? Where do you pick Almost Human at for you personally?
All the way up to number 4.
Okay.
A lot of people think that's my favorite song because I named my channel after it.
Right.
Everything that you dislike about this song, Brent, I love about it. I love the bongos. I love that solo kind of. I like when Ace does those crazy, strange ways type solos. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just so out there, and I like the high pitch. I'm almost human. I love everything about this. I love that hot, Mm-hmm. And yeah, Gene does. This is kind of like a God of Thunder Part 2. I love the lyrics. It's just total demon Gene, and boy, this is lacking on his solo album. His solo album should have been full of Almost Humans.
Mm-hmm.
And I just absolutely love this song. All the way at number 4. I only put 3 songs above this on this album, but yeah, it's and looking at my list, it's my favorite Gene song off this album. Love it.
Yeah, looking at my list, this is my favorite Gene song off this album. I put it at number 3. Um, it's got that delicious riff. It's so demon Gene and very much a solo album type song. I love it.
All right. So, top 4. So, number 4 for you, uh, Mr. Almost Human. What do you think that the panel is going to choose at number 4?
Christine 16. Okay.
Yeah, and I predicted Christine 16 is number 4 as well for the panel.
Wow. Okay. I predicted number 4. I predicted the panel would choose Tomorrow and Tonight. I thought it was a little more liked song, I guess. I thought that the panel would choose it a little higher than they did rather than choosing it all the way down at number 8. But for number 4, the panel chose with 378 points. That is just 3 higher than Almost Human. 3 points. The panel chose Christine 16. 2 panelists, Lee Gerstmann and George Doley, picked this song as their favorite song.
Really? Oh, Lee, really, Lee? Christine's, when Lee's on our podcast, we always goof on him for being around, like, high school, elementary school, the playgrounds. Now I kind of think we had a premonition there, Lee. No, I'm just kidding. Lee's not. Lee's all man. He doesn't go after little kids. But, boy, that's his favorite song off this album.
Yep.
All right.
So I picked Christine 16 as my personal 5th favorite song on this album. I love Christine 16. There's so much I love about it. Some of the little things that they do, where they do the stop just before they come into the chorus, and Peter hits the drums, that tat tat tat, and Ace does a little peck 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 on the guitar, hitting his little switch that he does. And I love the spoken. I don't usually say things like "the girls are right." I love that whole spoken thing. I love the piano that's on the studio album that is missing from the live version. I like that piano on there. So, and I heard that, I think I covered it in my review, that they actually had somebody come in and play the piano for that, and Gene didn't like the way they played it, so Gene went back and re-recorded the piano and playing it himself. So yeah, Christine 16 for me personally is number 5 for me. About you, Ralph?
Same for me. Number 5. I love this song. There's a lot of nostalgia connected with Christine 16 with me. And it was really a song of the times because, I just noticed, this is by pure coincidence. Look at the shirt I'm wearing. That was very popular back then. Mm-hmm. The Happy Days show. And it has that 50s vibe because of the piano. And I think that was very influential to the song. That piano, I think, had a lot to do with, I could be wrong, but I just feel like, because I remember listening to that back then thinking, that's got a 50s flair to it, like Happy Days. Mm-hmm. And I love the song. I'm not too crazy about the subject matter, but back then when I was a kid, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together as far as, wow, man. 16's underage because shit, I wasn't even 16 when I first heard this song. So when you're a kid like that, you don't think of things like that. Mm-hmm. But I do love the song, and as I overlook my list, it is my 2nd favorite Gene song on the album, and I dig it. I think it's a cool little ditty. It's got a good pop flair to it and structure, and I dig Christine 16.
Yeah, I chose it at number 6 on my list. I've always loved its inclusion in Phantom of the Park. That perfect scene where Melissa's at the snack bar and those guys are like hitting on her. It just sounds great in that movie, and I love that movie as a teenager, still to this day. So it's not in my top 5, but it's right there at number 6.
I was the opposite, Rick. I hated that movie. When I was a little kid, I was the biggest Kiss fan. First time I saw it, that was the first time I thought, what the man, that wasn't good. But now I absolutely worship that movie. It's so bad, it's awesome. I love that movie so much. I can recite just about everything off it.
Amen.
Um, I think it's funny if you think back. This is Christine 16. If you go a few years back, you again going blind from Higher Than Hell. You have that line from Going Blind that Paul wrote and put in there for Gene of "I'm 93, you're 16." And then you have Christine 16 coming, later on. It was that kind of taboo, edgy thing for them to do. I mean, they were already being called devil worshippers, and Gene was spitting up chicken blood. So why not try to have sex with a underage girl too? Why not?
If you really think about it, though, the '70s, like Ted Nugent was no actually got the rights to some chick that was like I think 16. I know she was underage. Steven Tyler as well. It wasn't really that taboo back then
Hmm.
as it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't realize that back then. After I watched Behind the Music, Ted Nugent, I was like, God damn, he was seeing an underage girl. I know Steven Tyler was the same thing. So I think back in the day, if you were like Gene Simmons, it was okay. I guess if you were a celebrity, it's okay to date a 16-year-old.
All right, top three. I live for the top three. The top three is always where it's like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? So at number three, we have our predictions. So, Ralph, what do you think that the panelist is going to choose for number three?
I predict the panel's going to choose Shock Me as number three.
I chose Almost Human at number 3 for the panel.
Okay. All right. And I predicted, I'm just like copying off of Ralph badly here. You guys started it, but I finished it with him. I'm predicting the panel will choose Shock Me for number three as well. And with and this is the separation that you see with the top three usually. So Christine 16 came in at number four with 378 votes. Shock Me came in at number three
Ooh.
with 526 votes. I mean, huge separation between the third and the fourth position. So Shock Me came in. 10 panelists chose it as their number one pick. Orville Danworth, Emily Graziano, Jay Lee, Dylan Tucker, Matthew Smith, Darklight, Brady McCatherine, Kiss Crazy 80, and John Steele 6666. I also picked Shock Me as my number one favorite song on this album. A lot of times when I put this CD in my car or if I'm streaming it, I usually go to this song first. I listen to this song first, I back up to the first track, and then I let the album play through. So I get Shock Me in the beginning, and then I get it again, you know, later on in the album. So I love Shock Me. It's one of my favorites, probably in my top. It's in my top 10 favorite Kiss songs. So Shock Me is my number one pick. So what about where's Shock Me coming for you, Ralph?
I'm with the panel, and I am the Ace guy. I love Ace. Ace is my favorite member. One of my favorite guitar solos. Shock Me is at number three. I absolutely love this song. Actually, I would say as far as Ace Frehley songs, excluding, man, let's just exclude the solo album. My favorite Ace songs is Rocket Ride, then Shock Me.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you're going to add the solo album, I'm going to have to throw in Snowblind and rip it out. So, yeah, Shock Me is incredible. It's an awesome song. It should be number one on my list, but it's not. It's number three.
Yeah, I had a hard time placing Shock Me. It's such a great song. I placed it at number 4. It's in my top 5. But yeah, just a great song. Great introduction to Ace as a singer.
Yeah. My son, who's a guitarist, he's an Ace fan. I introduced him to Kiss, and he became an Ace fan. And he said that he's told me before his two favorite solos from Ace are the one from Detroit Rock City, but he also knew that Ace didn't write that solo, that Bob Ezrin wrote it, and Ace had to basically play it note for note. But he said aside from that, his most memorable solo is the Shock Me solo. And the Shock Me solo actually sounds like it was composed. It's probably his most memorable. Most people who are Kiss fans, if they're, inner core Kiss fans, they know the Shock Me solo by heart. Where you may not know any other of Ace's solos by heart, most of them know the Shock Me solo from heart because it's almost like a little mini song within a song. And that's the way I always put. When you get to it, it's like the solo just kind of takes its own life, and, to going back into the Shock Me outros. So Shock Me.
Yeah, I'd agree with your son. I mean, I'd have to really think about it, but at the moment, Shock Me is my favorite guitar solo that Ace has done. But Ace has done a lot of songs within songs with his solos.
Yes, he has.
But this one is like very well constructed, so amazing. It just gets better and better. Like it starts off good, it just escalates to coolness. Then that part, and it's just amazing. I love it. Ace rules.
Another one of my favorite Ace solos, as we're getting off on this really quick before we get into number 2 and 1, is the solo for 100,000 Years. The solo for 100,000 Years is another amazing. It's a long solo, and it's very thought out. And it's just one of those great, great, great solos, too.
I love his solo on Making Love. It's so ripping.
Yes.
But I will say, as far as Shock Me goes, I don't think Ace Frehley does it the best. Tommy Thayer is the one that brings justice to Shock Me.
Okay,
I want to hear a rim shot.
Okay, number 2. Moving on. Number 2, let's see what the panel has chosen. Ralph, what do you predict for the panel choosing number 2?
Oh, it's a tough one, man. It can go either way. But I'm going to say, I think I'm going to be wrong on this one. I think the panel's going to choose I'm not even going to tell you my number 1. I think the panel's going to choose, I think I'm going to be wrong. I Stole Your Love. I think the panel's probably going to choose the other one.
So you're predicting
No.
what are you predicting they're going to choose?
I'm going to say I change. Love Gun, number 2.
All right, you're predicting Love Gun for number 2? Okay.
Yes.
I said the panel would choose I Stole Your Love at number 2.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to continue to cheat off Ralph's paper, and I said that the panel's going to choose Love Gun for number 2. And with just 10 points above, or 11 points above number 3, at 537 points, for number 2, the panel chose Love Gun.
Whoa.
Yeah. 18 panelists, Jeremy Carmona, Mrs. Stavoletti, Keith Bonnie Lee, Matt Greenia, Jay Reiner, Jay Spence, Two Gay Dads, AJ Zetro, 1975, Tommy Pardo, Ludwig Alphen, Demetrius K, Michael D, Young and Wasted, Rick R, Anthony C, That Toy Bonnie Guy, and Eric Rausch picked Love Gun as their favorite song on the album. I picked Love Gun as my 8th favorite song on the album. Love Gun to me is, I don't know if it's fatigue or if I've never really been the biggest Love Gun fan. I think what I liked Love Gun the most was just the drums. I loved the machine gun. I loved playing that when I was a kid. I didn't know I was playing triplets at the time. But I don't know. It's not that I don't like Paul, and it's not that I don't like Paul's songs, because I think Paul's the best songwriter in Kiss personally. But I've just never been able to really get into this song. The solo's good, and I just don't like how they just love gun. The chorus doesn't have anything to say other than Love Gun. But the song as a whole, I've never really scored it. I've never really been a big fan of it. So, what about you, Ralph? Where do you pick Love Gun as a personal?
Well, before I say that, 2K dads, um, really, they like every single song in that same order. That's love. Number two would be Love Gun for me. I love the song. I think it's a perfect song. Um, I love Ace's solo. I love on Smashes, Thrashes, Hits how they got rid of the Love Gun and you just hear his solo.
Mm-hmm.
That solo is so iconic to me, and it's just brilliant. I think the song is brilliant. I think it's well constructed, simple but effective, and I believe it's Paul Stanley's favorite song too he ever wrote because I believe I heard him say that he wrote it on an airplane, like real quick while he was on a plane. And I think Love Gun is just brilliant, and it's at my number two, way up there. Now I understand the burnout factor because it is a song that's probably the most well-known song on this album. It's been on every single Kiss set list, I believe. I mean, I know every time I've seen Kiss, Love Gun's
I'm gonna
always
say
on
I
the
think
set
it's the
list.
one song that's probably been on every one of them
Yeah,
since it came out.
yeah. This is the one song on this album that's been played at every single Kiss show. So yeah, Love Gun at number two.
So, guys, just so you know, we're having to finish with Rick this way because Rick lost power. So Rick, you were just about to say what you're starting to say where you chose Love Gun at.
Okay, so I chose Love Gun at number one, um, and it was hard for me to do my number one and two because I love both of those picks. But to me, Love Gun, like Ralph said earlier, when Paul wrote it on the plane going to Japan, it's just so awesome. I love that story. I love the power of the song. It's just a great song on the record. I do agree with you guys. Fatigue is kind of settled in as far as hearing it live to this day. The flying out over the audience thing gets kind of old. But as far as a track on the album, it's my number one favorite.
Okay. All right. So, um, because of by way of I guess we could say elimination, everybody now knows that the number one song is "I Stole Your Love." That's
Yeah, we don't even have to predict that one.
yeah. And I predicted that the panel would choose "I Stole Your Love" as their number one song. Ralph, did you predict it as number one?
Well, yeah, that's why I was having a hard time between Love Gun and I Stole Your Love. I was like, I almost said I Stole Your Love. Actually, I did say I Stole Your Love, but then I changed it to Love Gun. But yeah, I knew this was going to be either one or two in the panels.
So, Rick, where did you think that they were going to choose "I Stole Your Love"? Or what did you think they was going to choose for number one?
I thought the panel was going to choose "Shock Me" as number one, just based on everyone's love of Ace and that song. I thought the panel was going to choose "Shock Me."
Yeah, the panel it beat out number two it beat out Love Gun by about 60 votes, and 32 panelists. Ralph, my childhood friend Scotty Sky, and then Tom Dust, Andy, Richie Rich, Jack Skellington, Deuce, Dave Cranston, Kimchi Chris, Tony Rudd, Sean McKelland, Eladio, Joel Smith, Jeff Wyatt, Gregory Pegg, John Schaefer, Bim, Legend of Noob, Zendon Black, John B. Good, John Howard, Travis McGowan, Pins Fan, 77, John O, Chad Casey, Les Wadley, Perpetual Art, Indie Cult 777, Mick C, Bizbag, Trevor Bullock, and Greek Freak all picked "I Stole Your Love" as their number one song. I actually picked "I Stole Your Love" as my fourth favorite. I like the Live 2 version better. But it's in my top five as far as this album goes. But I picked it for me personally as number 4. Ralph, where'd you pick it for you personally?
Definitely number one. My favorite song off the album. Such a bombastic way to start the album. I just love the hell out of this song. I love the echo effects and the dual guitar solo with Paul and Ace. I love the way it starts. I just definitely my favorite song off of Love Gun. One of the greatest openings to any Kiss album. Well, they have a lot, man, because you got Detroit Rock City. You have I Want You, probably my favorite opener of any album. Creatures of the Night, I've had enough, Into the Fire, but I Stole Your Love also is one of those that are, it's just an epic, great, total hard rocking Kiss song. And this is like the Kiss I love, you know? I mean, I just, it's really hard for me to pick between the first 3 albums and the next 3 albums because they have charm. They're both different type of bands, but I just think this is like for 70s heavy metal. This is total 70s. Now we look back on it because it's been diluted. It's a hard rock song, but boy, back then this was a metal tune, and I absolutely love I Stole Your Love. Definitely up there, and I did make a list of my favorite Kiss songs on my channel, and I'm sure has to be in my top 5.
Okay.
Maybe even higher.
All right. So, Rick, where did you choose I Stole Your Love for you personally?
My number 2 choice, again, tied with number 1, really. I love this song. It's from my early days of watching Phantom of the Park. Always been one of my favorite songs. Was one of my go-tos on the record, and the very first time I ever saw the band Hot in the Shade, they actually opened with this song again, and so it just cemented my love for this track.
Okay. All right. So that's all we've got. Ralph, you got any closing thoughts? Anything about the album?
Again, to me, the last, legitimate Kiss album with the original 4. My favorite lineup of the band. It's just it's 70s Kiss, man. It's a 70s Kiss album, and featuring all 4 members. When you have all 4 members playing on, basically the whole album, they can do no wrong. I mean, Hooligan is an exception, but as far as like just a band, a cohesive band. There may be cracks at the time showing, but it doesn't show on this album. I think this album smokes. It's awesome. Definitely in my top 5 greatest Kiss albums. It's up there. Love it. Love Gun. Great album. But the hell with Hooligan.
Hell with Hooligan now. All right, Rick, what about you? Any final thoughts?
Love Gun, as we stated earlier, it's kind of like the I consider it the fun little brother of Rock and Roll Over, and it's a great part of that 70s Americana Kiss, and it's just a fun record. And Ralph, very nice meeting you today. You're a legend in this Kiss community, so very cool meeting you, and thank you, Brant, once again for bringing together all the fans to talk about this record. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you, Rick. The feeling is mutual.
All right, guys, and like I said, I've said everything about Love Gun that I really want to say about it. It's an important part of my childhood. It's one of the, when I think back to my first Kiss albums, I see Destroyer, I see Alive 2, I see Love Gun. Those were the first 3 for me, and then after that it was the solo albums, and so it's at my nucleus of my Kiss fandom at its very early stages when I was 7 and 8 years old. So anyway, that's all I've got. Want to say thank you to Mr. Ralph Viera, Dr. Fukk.
Thank you for having me.
Be sure to check him out on YouTube if you haven't already. If you've been hiding under a rock for the last 10, 12 years and you've never seen Ralph's channel, check it out. I discovered him. This guy right here is the reason why you're sitting and watching this video today. Had I not discovered a video by him reviewing a solo album and then going back and watching all of his videos that he made in the very beginning, where he would take the time to take concert footage and line it up with Kiss songs and make videos for songs that didn't have videos. And then when he started getting into doing his reviews, and he's the reason why I decided to make a YouTube channel that featured Kiss and other things that I like to do, like drinking beer and talking about ghost stories and fixing shit around the house and stuff like that. So it's all thanks to this guy right here, guys. So
thank you, Brian. I really appreciate that, and I'm glad that I influenced you, and I really do appreciate your kind words and your support for the Almost Human channel.
yes. So, and also my partner in crime, Rick from It's All For You Demon. Definitely, if you've not checked him out, check him out. And give both these guys a subscription. Click the notification bell and comment on watch their videos, like their videos, comment. That's it. Next, we'll be moving on to solo albums. And who album goes first is yet to be determined. All right, so that's all I got for today. I'm Brant. That's Dr. Fukk. And that is Rick. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, guys.
Smack 'em a gob!
Let's see. Lost my train of thought. Let me collect myself for a second.
That Gene porno through you.
I just see that little
Did you
weenie.
look it up?
I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm just seeing that little weenie and just the awkwardness of it. And then I started thinking back in Gene's book or Gene or Paul's book about how Peter pulled his dick out one time in the studio and was talking about having a 13-inch dick or whatever. I'm all messed up here for a second.